Good evening, parents. My name is Bob Carson, and I am your child's 8th grade history teacher for this year. I want to first thank you for coming tonight to this virtual back to school night. I do wish it was in person. I wish we could have had it in person, but with everything going on, I guess this is the safer way. But I do appreciate you taking the time out to listen to what I have to say tonight, and all the other teachers. And also, please know if you ever have any questions, I'm here to help you. So please reach out to me by email at robertcarson@antiochschools.net. You can call the office if you would want to leave a message for me, and hopefully they'll get that to me. But I'm always available to talk or to email, so please do so. So we're back in school, and that's a great thing. I'm very excited to be back. I know the other teachers are as well. It's not quite the same though, right? We have to deal with the mask in the classroom at least. And I can say this, the kids have done an excellent job, almost every single one, with wearing their mask properly and wearing it during class. Our assigned seating this year is also real important. It's important to know where kids are sitting, and they must sit where they're instructed to sit every day. And again, the kids are doing a great job with that. So although that's not, the norm actually, or that's not usually the norm to have to deal with masks and very strict seating arrangements, what is the norm is just 8th grade. And it's, like I said, it's so nice to be back. It's just, it feels good to be back on campus with the kids. And I believe that education and teaching is all about making connections with kids, and it's very hard to do online. And so it's been nice this year getting to work closely with kids again, and have them right in front of you, and you can make those good connections. So we're off to a good start this year. So in 8th grade history in the state of California, we learn about American history, and so that's what we will be learning about this year. We learn about American history from before there was a country, the native people, the Europeans who came over while they were exploring the world, colonies. So even before there was a nation, the United States, we study that, but rather quickly. And then we get into American history, and we study American history from the beginnings, the Declaration of Independence, the Revolutionary War, all the way through, right up to World War I. Okay. And so, like I tell the kids, the history of America is a great, exciting history. It's a very interesting history, and I believe, and I've told you children this, that America is a great country. We're also going to look at some of the things that have occurred that haven't been great, right? And we're going to, my job, like I told the kids, is not to get them to think one way or the other, is to lay out the information to them and let them draw their own conclusions on how they feel about things. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have tests where certain answers are definitely going to be correct, or assignments where I'm looking for a specific answer. But as far as their views of the country and what's gone on in the past, and what's, we always try to tie into what's happening now in the future as well. So hopefully we'll have a good time doing it again this year. We usually do. It's hopefully a class where I can get your children to develop a love for history, or at least a like for history. I know some people it's not their thing, but and just to talk about the people and the stories, and for me it's I think the best kind of learning. But hopefully your children will enjoy the class this year. So I try to keep things simple in class, as far as assignments, as far as our daily routines. Vocabulary, learning some history vocabulary is very important. So every day starts out with a word of the day, sort of a starter work. And they write that down in a notebook, which I actually supplied to them if they needed the notebook. And from there, we just, we're just going to follow history, like I said, from the beginnings of America through up to World War I. Some of the highlights would be the Constitution, which is so important. It was important, 250 years ago, and it's important today, and it affects our lives today. So we'll get into that in depth. We'll certainly spend a lot of time on the Civil War, just a monumental war in America's history. It changed America for the better, but not without a very substantial cost of life and destruction. So We'll definitely spend a lot of time on the Civil War, but we'll cover everything in between as well. Like I said, we're not going to shy away from the hard issues, the hard things, and we're not going to shy away from celebrating the good things. And I think that I know your child will learn a lot this year. As far as kind of the ins and outs, they don't need much. They need their vocabulary notebook in class. They need something to write with in class. The grading system is a little weighted towards tests. That's sort of a school policy to kind of make the tests worth more than the assignments. That's just the way we've been asked to do things. But I will tell you this, and I've already told your children this, my tests are it's very doable to do well on my tests. We have a thorough review before the test, and if they give the kids a couple days to study, and most kids do very well on the tests. And if tests are a big problem, please reach out to me, and we can try to work around that in other ways. So I don't want a kid to think, and everything I'm telling you I've told them already, but I don't want a kid to think that, hey, I'm going to do all my work, I'm going to try my best, and then my test scores are going to let me down. I don't want that to be the case. I don't think that will be the case if they're doing their other work. But if they do struggle with tests, if they have test anxiety, that type of thing, we can work around that, I believe. As far as expectations, I have, again, very few, but the ones I have are important to me, and I think I'd like to share with you why I think they're important. Obviously, this year with the COVID, I have to have them wearing their mask properly, and I have to have them staying in their assigned seats. The seating is because if there is some kind of outbreak or exposure, we know who the kids were near, and that determines who the contact tracing, I guess, and all that. Another thing that I'm a stickler for is being on time. I think it's just a great life lesson. We all have to be somewhere at some time, right? Most of us have jobs we have to be at a certain time. So the kids have 5 minutes between classes. That's more than enough time to get from anywhere on campus to where they need to go. And so it's important that they get here on time. So I've talked in depth about that. Again, the kids are doing a fantastic job so far with getting here on time. Sometimes as the year progresses, they start to slacken off on that, and I have some procedures in place to deal with that. But just please, if you talk with your kids, you can tell them that I told you as well. Being on time is real important. All the other stuff really has to do with just showing kind of good, decent manners in class. It's like we've talked a little bit about cell phones. I know kids love their cell phones. I love my cell phone, right? But there's a time and place for all that. And the time to be on your cell phone is not when your teacher's talking. So, there'll be other times in class if you're doing independent work and that type of thing, and you want to listen to some music. I don't have a problem with that. Other teachers may. I don't. A lot of the kids do that when they're at home. But that's after we've already given the instruction and they're moving towards their independent work, or they're doing their independent work. So, I just ask that they show kindness to each other and to show kindness towards everyone, that they deal with at school. Again, I tell them it's not, it doesn't mean you have to be friends with everybody, but we can treat everybody decently. And my goal is to treat your children decently. And I tell the kids that, I don't want to be, unfair to your children. I work hard to try to be a good guy with them, and I expect the same in return. And so far, it's been just a really great start to this year. So I'm just looking through my sheet here. I think I've covered the main bits of information. Again, my email is robertcarson@antiochschools.net, and you can reach me anytime via email with that address. And I just want you to know, I guess I'll wrap it up with this. We've talked at the beginning of the year a little bit about goals we might have for the year, that the kids might have for the year, that I might have for the year. And, I want to do whatever is possible for me to do to help your children reach the goals that they've set for themselves, that may be the goals that you have set for them. I want to be supportive of that. And like I told the kids, not everyone has the same goals. If getting all A's is your goal, that's fantastic. But there's nothing wrong with getting B's too. Especially if you've been getting C's or D's or F's, right? If you get B's, that's a really great improvement. So, what we've talked about as far as setting goals is setting realistic goals and setting goals that can be achieved, but with some effort. And so that's what I hope to help your children do this year to achieve the goals they want to achieve, and to be helpful in that process. So again, I wish we were in person. It's so much easier to do this in person, but just know that I'm here to help your kid. That's why I'm a teacher. I'm not here to make your kid's life miserable. I want your children to enjoy school. I want them to have fun at school, and I think that's a big part of school, is to come to school and have fun, but also accomplish what you need to accomplish and to get your work done. So whatever I can do to be of help to you, please let me know. I will do it if at all possible. And hopefully, as we get towards the end of the year, this 8th grade year, their last year, right before they go to high school, hopefully we can meet each other in person at that event at the end of the open house. Hopefully open house will be live and in person. But I appreciate you listening. I know there's going to be time later for you to check in if you'd like. And I will be online here to answer any questions you might have specifically. But please reach out to me anytime you'd like. So again, thank you, and thank you for showing up tonight and listening. And I hope you all have a great night and a great weekend coming up. Thanks. Bye.